I want to, we kind of got into questions that were kind of analytical. I think all of us probably have a pretty good list of things that we really want to encourage Chuck and Deb to sustain and just thank God for them. So if you've got your things like, hey, these are some of the best things, keep doing them. What are your encouragements for them?
Before you start with that, we're super encouraged right now.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
we value your direction and guidance.
Well, you're good. You get both. So it's a package deal.
Let's go light on it.
Uh, I want to encourage you to do something, and I want to encourage you in what you're doing.
All right.
I would like to encourage you to pick up tracking again, and maybe not for the hundreds of streams, but there needs to be a few that you're focusing on to track, because you're needed, especially as an apostolic shepherd. And I guarantee you that there are a lot of things happening that would very much encourage you if you would check in to see what's going on. I would say that for myself. I would say that for what's going on in Troy's network and in Jim's network. There are other things happening that will really lift your spirits if you would ask. And for what I feel like you guys are doing great at is the continued coaching calls that you're doing across the board, locally and globally. And the weekend trainings that you're doing, walking through the baptisms, hammer, things like that. That's been really helpful. So I'm getting good word about that. Even though I haven't been on those calls, I'm hearing stories of people being encouraged about that. So keep that up. Keep rolling with that. That's very, very helpful. And I think it's a great idea to step out for a season to see what happens. Win or fail you won't, because it's Jesus' work. So I think the call to take a sabbatical is good, strategic, and maybe you may hear God's voice saying San Francisco, LA, who knows?
Yeah.
I can keep going but I'll let somebody else talk, because I'm sure we're going to say the same things.
I think, Chuck, the biggest thing I'd emphasize as this is super encouraging, and I would say, like, you must keep at this, is your partnership with Jeff and Troy. I think is the closest thing I've ever seen to like a Paul Barnabas, Paul Timothy working together. I think because you're able to share the fruit so open-handedly, I think that's one of the things that's really helping all of the rest of us downstream. And I think your plan to just keep working together with them is smart. Yeah, keep doing that. I also really just want to affirm your abiding, both you and Deb. I know Deb was like, well, we're retired and everything. I really don't buy that. There's always a million things to come in to distract you from spending the kind of time you're spending in the Word and prayer. And I love that your prayer life is both got this structure to it and this unstructured aspect to it. I think that's super wise. I thought I'm really encouraged about Bud and Denise that they've finally got some traction going on. I think that really speaks to your perseverance with them and your long suffering and patience. So I thought that was really good. It seems like for not getting the feedback from all the leaders you want, you still have probably one of the most comprehensive gen maps that I've seen. So I think your administration skills are really good. I'll talk more about that later, but those are some of the things I think are super encouraging. Your obedience, just talking about immediate obedience. I feel like the things in marriage too, like I feel like all that up and in relationships in your life is what, don't neglect that I think that's what's causing the out. Jesus is fulfilling his promise. If you remain in me and my words remain in you, ask whatever you wish and it will be given you. This is my Father's glory that you bear much fruit. So I encourage you to keep doing that. And I think that's where it's coming from. He's literally fulfilling that promise. So I just really respect that, admire it, and thankful for it.
I affirm everything that these guys just said. I agree with his prayers, Lord. I think that the marriage, everything is flowing out of the marriage. And I hear you listing off all those. I couldn't see very well, but on the Gen Map, but I could hear the couples being listed. And so I think that is being passed downstream, that you've got couples doing this together. They're traveling. You know, when you guys came to South Florida, it was all the couples were there. And I think as you guys have these young people coming in, they're seeing that. I think that's a strength of what Jesus is doing through No Place Left, is that's and you guys model that. And the fruit of your abiding time, as Ron said, I think just this stuff is flowing out of that. God's pleased whether, you've got these Gen Maps or not. And I hear every single coaching call that I've done, I don't get through one without hearing of them talking about one of the videos they've seen of yours. And so I haven't seen them all, but those videos are having a huge impact.
Don't want to see them all.
I'd say keep doing them, because if you've got a question about, oh man, is this worth my time? God's using them powerfully. So I wanted to look for an opportunity to share that with you, and this was it. I mean, if I'm understanding Deb correctly, the 2020 vision is in the rearview mirror. Is that right?
Well, we feel globally.
Wasn't that your vision globally?
Well,
it was
San Antonio.
Yeah.
The cheesy vision was for 2020 by 2020.
Yeah.
Why are we not celebrating the fact that the vision has already been accomplished?
Because
that's a big deal. Like,
it's like
we went on to the Movements podcast and said cheesy vision 2020, and it's like, it's not even 2017 yet.
It's kind of like, you have a girl, then you have another girl, you have another girl, and you want to celebrate that, right?
But seriously, though, like, when you guys said that a couple years ago, we're like, 2020? Oh my gosh, like, we haven't even seen one. And look at what God is doing. Like, it's already blowing past. So I hope you stop and have a beer. Like, that's exciting over that. We should celebrate the wins.
Super, super exciting.
Yeah.
And we are excited about that.
Yeah.
Because how many people actually reach their end vision? You know what I mean? Like, we've got to celebrate what the Lord's doing through that.
We got a little bit of friendly fire here recently where we picked up, some folks basically said, see, we told you it wouldn't work. And they got that because I was talking about, we're not getting to critical mass, and I overstated. I said we're killing as many churches as we start. And they grabbed that, and there was blood in the water. The fact of the matter is they don't really know all the successes. And what our benchmark is No Place Left. Mm-hmm. So 2020 isn't even a drop in the bucket. We do want to celebrate that. But man, the bar is so high now to get to know, we got 1.5 million people in our city that don't know Jesus. Mm-hmm. So our celebration is tempered. And
I got you.
And our critics need to realize that, Jesus is doing tremendous work, but his work is not done yet. And so we will point out our weaknesses, So anyways, it's celebrate, but we got a long way.
Sell still more.
Yeah.
Do you feel comfortable saying certifiably that you got 2020 internationally?
Sounds good.
That there's 2020 churches internationally?
Certifiably, no.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
If we're gonna say that, and we can't demonstrate it somehow, we are definitely gonna get
friendly fire.
Yeah, you're going to get people are going to come inspecting the fruit. I mean, it's happened in China. It happens to everybody.
Yeah.
So this is kind of my last thing. I kind of want to investigate a little bit.
I had one more encouragement, Jim, if I may.
Yes, excuse me.
Thank you for not because I know we can say, well, you guys are so open-handed, and you are. But I think thank you for not thank you for dipping into other networks, because some people would not do that out of fear of ticking somebody off, or you guys all have free reign on any. I mean, they're just Jesus's disciples, so they're not mine. But Bill Smith told me recently, hey, there's some people, in some cases you do want to keep the DNA tight, so there is some level of protection from outside voices. But the guys that you've put my name with are so much better down the road because of your investment in them. And so thank you for not letting stupid things like ownership or worried about stepping on people's toes keep you from coaching and pouring into people.
Well, and we've experienced that with our own people. When we came to South Florida, when they came for that intensive, it was like light bulbs were going on, and so, it's like, we definitely appreciate other people doing that. We are, pouring into as well.
Yeah.
I mean, anybody that's had kids is super grateful when anybody of positive influence is,
Okay.
or it's healthy to be grateful to have that influence.
Thanks, Troy.
And I affirm everything that Troy said, that I'm encouraged by.
We appreciate you guys. That means a lot to us coming from you.
Yeah.
You three.
Is it important to you to know certifiably you hit 2020? Or are you would you feel comfortable going, hey, based on just my intuitive read of everything I'm hearing about, that's probably about 2020?
Yeah, I would feel comfortable because in order to figure that out, I got to beat people up to get the numbers. And so I'm willing to say, hey, that was God's vision. And when I'm kind of looking at it, either we're super close or it's done out there, not here in San Antonio. But I don't even know how we're going to get it in San Antonio.
Yeah.
I do think that if God wants that number to be elevated, He will do it, and I don't have to beat people up to get it.
Yeah, it's going to have to happen supernaturally, and we're going to have to know that number supernaturally. I don't think we're going to be able to figure it out, humanly speaking.
I think there's another side of it, though, which is it seems like there's a skill set that's missing in the Timothys that they don't know well the condition of the flock. So it's one thing, like I want the numbers, so I want to know how we're doing, but I would try to approach them like, you need to have a more accurate gen map
Your mother and I are
so
leaving.
that you can understand what's happening downstream. And I think there's a few people that are good at that in your gen map already, and they didn't need that. And I think there's some other people that are a little sanguine, a little evangelistic, and even though it's not a natural thing for them, they're going to need help with that, because their people downstream are going to need help with that too. So I would think about, trying to talk to them about not like, hey, I need the numbers, but you need to know your own numbers for the sake of, do you love those people? Do you love those churches downstream? You need to know what they need help with and come at it from that angle. Because I think that's the only way we ever get the data back up, because they care about their people and they want feedback in their network. And I think that's got to be the motive to appeal to that. And I would almost say that's going to be one of the things to identify your generals. And there are going to be people, like you said, that just are not going to do it. That's okay. They don't want to do it. And we're going to spin them off. But I think that might be some of your selection criteria for all your L3 leaders. will they move toward L4?
Yeah. This is not pushback, it's an explanation. And you're welcome to spank me if I need it. But I'm going to lead, and I'm going to lead with the administrative side of this. But if you don't follow, I'm not going to beat you up. What I hear you saying, though, is make the effort to train the people to do it downstream. And
that effort has been made, and there is no horse too dead to beat. Like,
yeah, I think it's make the effort, train them, and appeal to the motivation of,
sure.
Do you love your flock?
Yeah.
You got to know what's going on. Investigate it. That would be.
Well, and I think
get everybody.
For the most part here in San Antonio, we're only at second, maybe budding third generation. So of course they know everything, you know. But as the generations start to form, that's definitely going to be more of an issue of, you know, do you know the churches and how they're doing? And part of that is we know we got to go down and look and see the next generation, which we've started instituting. You know, like that's how Chuck knew about the gal that we had met in a training 1 year ago. I think we had done that with a couple of different churches. We actually combined our Timothy church with one of the downstream churches 1 week when we had some visitors from overseas. You know, so we're definitely trying to incorporate more of checking on the grandchildren. So.
Yeah.
That was my last thought, and
yeah.
I'll see if anybody else has any. We'll ask you what you're hearing from the Holy Spirit right now. Anybody else? Any encouragements, admonitions, recommendations? All right, what are you guys hearing from the Lord right now that He might like you to respond to? I missed it, Troy. Did they say they're moving to LA?
Yeah, we both are. We're teaming up. You want to join us?
No, I just want to be part of the historic movement.
We're going somewhere.
Ron's got New York. It's good.
Next time. We're
None of
not
this going by ourselves thing. That's not easy at all. I mean, somebody's been trying to figure out for a year what to do.
Yeah.
Tell me where you're going, then I'll tell you if I'm coming or not.
Well, how about you tell me where we're going? I'll tell you if I'm going. No. No.
I list these in the order that I took notes. I think we need to take a look at A teams on the guy side, revisit that. I think we need to insert the NPL vision downstream.
And I think I was just telling Chuck, we've got an intensive coming up in November, and you know, Chuck's quick to put everybody else up on the, you know, which we want to do. We want to bring our Timothys up to shoulder height by letting them lead, but I really feel like he needs to be up there to instill vision, because
and then during the sabbatical, I mean, this is a long way to go. I'll pick another one, but during the sabbatical, put everything on the table and ask the what and where question from a brand new perspective. And I'm going to keep at the gen mapping. I plan on doing that with people that want to do it, but here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put together a video on why it's important to track what you're doing. So I'll do that video. And then I'll make everybody watch it.
Yeah. We'll all watch it. We already know that. Everybody's already watching it. So, yeah. Well, I think the video I will be reposting that video because it is a hard thing.
Do you want to put the video about friendship evangelism?
Yeah, but
okay. Well, just one of the lessons learned about the basketball crew is you start up front by sharing the gospel, and you are their friend, and you have a friendship. You don't wait until you've been a friend for a year and then share the gospel.
Yeah.
And you also do that with people that you're bumping into in your natural. Well, you don't chase those basketball players down.
Yeah. Right.
Exactly.
I stretch here every day, so I share the gospel here every day.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, so video on detailed gen mapping, why that's important. So look at A teams, reinsert NPL down vision or down vision downstream. Put the transitional part of the sabbatical in there, what and where, and then do the video.
That's a very robust action plan.